Whether it will be appealed or not, Joel, I don't know, but there was a motion indicating that the woman did not have a cause of action, and the judge in that case agreed, and so that case was dismissed.
Okay. I had two other quick questions for the board. We didn't hear any mention tonight of the status of the waste pile removal. I'm wondering what the status of that is. Also, the status of the Green Street project.
Still waiting to hear from the DEC from our letter that we sent on the landfill.
I'd like to follow that, but where do we stand on Green Street?
Green Street is presently being reviewed by New York State DOT in regards to the drainage proposal for the improvements there.
Does that mean that we have a complete plan in front of them, and as soon as it happens, the shovel goes in the ground?
Yes, the plans have been completed and are being reviewed by the DOT, yes.
To follow up just briefly, and believe me, not adversarially, but it's sort of a pushy question. On the land pile, the landfill pile, we've been waiting on this basically since about November, waiting to hear. Generally speaking, that's not good news. It also leads people to believe that, as people gossip and talk about it, that they're not being told the entire story, which is not good for anybody. That people should be talking about and feeling that information is being withheld. Is there more to this simply than that we haven't heard from them? And if we haven't heard from them, why not?
Well, if you don't mind,
sure.
Is anything being withheld? Absolutely not. We've hired Cornerstone. Cornerstone is out there actively finding a place. We want to have a beneficial reuse of the soil. That's what the village board wants to do, because it's the most cost-efficient way of disposing of the material. The issue with the DEC is we're negotiating a consent order. At the end of the day, they'll give us a period of time by which we have to remediate that site. We're trying to find the most cost-effective way to do that. The village board hired Cornerstone with the idea of using their contacts to find out where could this soil be beneficially reused, because we don't want to have to put the expense on the taxpayers to truck it away and deposit it in an authorized landfill to accept this. So those things are ongoing. Not necessarily surprisingly, there's not a great demand for an excavated landfill, but we're doing our best. The village board is doing their best to try to find a place to put the soil. Okay? So I wouldn't necessarily say that they're the same thing. The DEC is going to give us an answer, but I think it's important to note that we submitted a full proposal to another municipality before we heard back from the DEC. It's not like we're sitting around on our hands, but we don't have a response back positively or negatively. Cornerstone periodically gives us different updates. I know that the mayor has had contact with a few people. I know that Trustee Roddy has had a contact with a few people. We're working to try to get this done, but there's a recognition that it's going to cost money, and it seems like every time you turn around, in a very bad economic time, there's a project that's going to cost money. So it's not an enviable position for the village board to be in. But certainly, there is no information ever being withheld. Absolutely not.
As I said, it wasn't an adversarial question. It was an opportunity to open it up so it can be stated, so people can hear it.
Just two more quick questions. The debris that was removed from beneath the Canal Street Bridge was tree limbs or any?
My understanding, it was organic material like leaves, brush, tree limbs, and things of that matter. Yes.
We've done that before. We
sure.
When we lined, put in the cover, we dredged all of that out before, and it has to periodically be done.
Right.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
I'd spoken to Mike Noselis about that on I think Thursday. That's when it happened.
So does the village have a regular schedule of dredging these waterways? And with regard to the Erie Street Tunnel, how do you dredge something like that?
I don't think it was dredged, I think it was just clean.
Get some alligators.
With the alligators.
I think the DOT, I'm sorry, John, didn't mean to step on your line there. The DOT was looking to do an inspection of the structure, and it just needed to have a clearer view of the structure itself. So that's what we did, is we assisted them by cleaning out in there. And it is done, I think, on an as-needed basis. So I don't think it's on a regular schedule. I think it's on an as-needed basis.
Okay. And last question. Does pre-revolutionary arrangements, are they respected by post-revolutionary American law?
Only if you want to gamble.
So no. So then...
No, that's a joke.
No,
I mean, isn't there any question?
I got to work on my delivery.
I mean, there was a revolt, right?
Is that GAMBO?
I mean, really, could you comment on that, or give us a bit of an abbreviated education on colonial law?
Just what I said before. I mean, we're record title state. So there's no record title before this grant in 1720, whenever it was. So the ability to determine ownership prior to that, most importantly, is irrelevant. Okay, because there's a conveyance to the record owner in 1720, and then had disposition of that title forward. So the answer is A, no, we could not definitively determine the title to that land prior to 1720, and B, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, so I'm just trying to get I'm trying to get an idea what influence the revolution may have had on this from a historical point of view. I mean, were loyalists land titles ignored and they were run out of the country, and people that supported the revolution?
Certainly that wouldn't be the case because the title came from the king. Right? Mm-hmm. So if loyalists were going to lose their title, then there would have been some disturbance in the title to whoever received the grant from the king.
There you have it. Can I say something from the record? You can get it on here that I forgot to.
I might have to watch that again. Sure.
I wanted to remind everyone, I know that Michael put the ads in the paper, but I wanted to remind everyone that there will be flushing of the system, the water system, this week. And if there is no different than every other community in our area who's doing it this month. They just did it in Walskill, they're doing it in the others. All during this month, they do it in the spring. Look for discoloration, or what I suggest, if you see the discoloration, that do not use bleach. Don't do that low and white. Okay, hold off until the water clears.
What about hot water heaters?
What about?
I mean, will that affect hot water heaters? Should water be flushed through first?
So, but if you want to check yours, the particles are not, the iron, I think the little grit that gets caught, that gets knocked away, has not seemed to cause problems with the water heaters.
Thank you.
Second.
Other questions?
Are you suggesting that these aren't productive questions?
Yeah, very good question.
I said that I've had to go to the bathroom for almost an hour now.
Sorry.
You guys don't see the village clerk. She's a 24th man. She sits here about 5 minutes a night and starts going.
I used to have a girlfriend who said,